John Doe says, who would you, I guess, want to win? A guy with alpha looks with beta mindset, or a beta looks with an alpha mindset who has the upper hand when it comes to hypergamy? I've always said this is that alpha is a mindset. It is not a demographic. So you can be, you can be Captain America, right? If you still got that beta mindset, you're not going to be, you got an alpha body, but you're still beta up here. A lot of guys get into that. That's why I wrote, Dream Girls and Children with Dynamite. Guys are still betas. They still, that was a warning. You'll find that chapter in book one. Yeah. That was a warning because so many guys were getting into game and they were learning how to do that end run around women's hypergamous filter, but they were still simps, right? They're still living in that blue. They did so because they thought it would facilitate getting to what their ideal was, which was formed and based on blue pill conditioning, on blue pill idealism, on clinging to that. So it's like, oh man, I got the keys to the Lamborghini, but you've never driven a Lamborghini before. Or it's like it's like going to the dojo and they go, oh, don't worry about the white belt here. We're going to give you the black belt. Go into the ring. You're a black belt now. Go in with that other black belt over there. You think you're going to win that fight, or are you going to just get pummeled? That's what it boils down to, is if you're not prepared for that, if you have, hey, but we're just going to say you're a black belt, go ahead and you didn't earn it. You didn't do anything for it. You don't have the mindset. You're still clinging to the white belt way of thinking. So yeah, you're going to get your ass kicked. That's how it works. Them's the realities of it. Why do you do what you do? Why do you go to the gym? I want to be healthy. I want to have muscles. I want to lift heavy things. I want to be ready for the apocalypse. Good. But you know what else happens? Women notice that you lost weight and they know you're more muscular and you look better and they want to get after it with you. That's not why I do it. Yes, it is. It's okay. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to go and look better so that chicks will get on you. But I mean, if that's the only thing, okay. But I mean, there's side benefits. So what's your main benefit? Is your main benefit going there and just like, I want to be stronger. I want to be a better dude. Okay, great. If that's your primary benefit, well, then the secondary benefit is that women want to get with guys that look like you. Or is it, I want to look better because I want chicks to jump all over my junk, right? Okay, great. Well, maybe the side benefit of women jumping on your junk is actually better health. Okay, good. Doesn't matter. I don't care. Either way. It's when guys say, so that's one example of crisis of motive. It's, I just do it for me. Okay, but there's other reasons for it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that at all. It's when guys try to shame you for it, or women even try to say, well, you're really self-absorbed, aren't you? Yeah. So, what am I supposed to be absorbed with you? What are you implying? When you say that a guy should maximize his potential and reach his peak at 35, do you mean the red pill trifecta game, looks, money, status, or looks, game, status, whatever? I lump status in, by the way, into money and affluence. So yeah. Where the guy makes the most of his alpha traits. Yes. Primarily, yes. So guys will fight me on that. They'll go, well, I was much better looking when I was in my 20s. Okay, maybe, but you didn't have the same game. You didn't have the same experience. You didn't have the same, it's simply the simple thing is it takes longer for men to mature into their peak potential than it does for women. Women get to be 22, 23, because we're different, because we're looking for different things as men and as women. Men are primarily looking for fertility and beauty and sexual access. Men are looking for that in women. Women are looking for a guy who's got, there's a laundry list of things, right? One of usually at the top of that list is looks. Yes. Yeah, there you go. Okay, throw your bone. Here's your bone. Here's your bone. Looks maxers. Yes. Looks count. Game counts. Money and status and affluence counts. And how do who gets that? How long does it take for the average guy to get those up to sort of like their maximized potential? Or at what age does a guy have his maximum potential years to have all of those sort of in the row? And when do women need those particular aspects in a man? Like women always say, I want the complete package. Well, when does a guy have the complete package? Some guy, people say, well, what about Justin Bieber, man? He had fame and money and good looks and da-da-da. Yeah, and he's the biggest chump on planet Earth. Sorry, Beebs, but you are. And I think your wife would probably agree with me. Or let's look at Prince Harry, right? Prince Harry had a lot going for him, except the mindset, right? Prince Harry he could have got with some really good, he was already getting with, like in the tabloids, he was always with some hot little piece of ass, right? I mean, he was always with, he flies helicopters. He was in pretty good shape back, at least when he was in the military. He's royalty. I mean, status. You don't get higher status than that, right? And money and everything else. And guess what? Beta, blue pill, mindset, simp. And where is he now? What's he doing now? Miserable. Misery economy. Yes, we're going to talk about that here in a second. Miserable. And promoting the idea that his lifestyle is great, that all guys should follow on. Like he's a role model. Like he's somebody that you should aspire to be Prince Harry. What? Well, yeah, that follows for a lot of guys in this generation who are simping. They'll be the first. What's funny to me is whenever I've done this because I've said Prince Harry is likely to kill himself. I don't want him to kill himself. Let's clarify that right now. But I've said in the past, I said he's with a borderline personality disordered woman who is very full of herself. He was just the means to an end. He's isolated from his family. He's isolated from his friends. He's given up his rifles. He's given up his pheasant hunting. He's given up everything that used to make him Harry. He's not Harry anymore. Harry, not Harry. He's not Harry anymore. What happened to Harry? She erased him and put somebody else there. Simp Harry is there now. So here's a guy. Okay, maybe he's not like Giga Chad, okay, but he was better looking in the past, like when he was younger, okay. But here he is, all mindset, man. It's all what you're willing to accept. You're going to be a simp. It doesn't matter if you're Giga Chad. If you're a simp, you're a simp. Like I said before on Blue Pill Alphas, like people were like, what do you mean Blue Pill Alpha? Yeah. They think that alpha is synonymous with red pill. No, it's not. There's in fact, there's probably more natural blue pill alphas than red pill alphas because those guys make the worst white knights. There's the guys that want to fight you because you apologize to the lady. Like that guy gets in your face. You're like, oh, okay, sorry. That guy's going to beat your head in. Yeah, that's a blue pill alpha. There's also red pill beta. There's tons and tons of them. There's probably 1,000 of them in the chat right now are going to be commenting. It's not mutually exclusive. You can be blue pill and be an alpha and be red pill and be a beta. Easy. In fact, I would say most red pill guys who become red pill, they're trying to find ways to become better. I mean, remember we talked, you want to be the best version of yourself. Okay. I also want to talk about Iron Rule of Tomasi number 9, which is, it's from the essay called Sorry. And what that means is never self-deprecate. And that's sort of the little advice that I have for most guys, because most guys default to self-deprecation. And that's what all simps do. They think that by making her more or making himself less, that she becomes more. And really all you do when you do that is confirm for her hindbrain that you're a chump, that you're a simp, that you are beneath her in sexual market value. And you confirm it for her vocally, hey, I can't believe it must be a God thing. She loves me and tolerates me and lets me watch hockey in the guest room occasionally on a Monday. Lucky you, right? But when you confirm yourself as being a loser to a woman publicly and you say it enough times, you're the loser. And remember what hypergamy is based on. It's based on doubt. Is he the best I can do? You say, I am in no way the best that she could do. She is so great. If you say, if that's your default, that's your reflexive answer, you're not going to be in that relationship very much longer. Or if you are, she's just going, don't expect her to have anything beyond starfish sex with you. You will not get that. When I've said this in, I think I said this with Pat Campbell, is like when I see guys do that, women tend to go, it's like cringeworthy when they do that, because women's ego is associated with the kind of man that they can get. So if they're with an alpha guy and he's not sort of, turning himself into self-abasement or deprecation, if he doesn't do that, or God forbid he gets cocky and funny, I find that nowadays simping is always, or is also an expectation. Is also an expectation. Yeah, it is from beta orbiters for sure. I've had times where I've received anger by not showing simp-like behavior. How I only find this with women on the lower end of the quality spectrum. However, I only find this on. Yeah, well, that's interesting, because how do you decide, particularly online, whether or not that woman is on the lower end of the quality spectrum? It's a myth to think of women as being quality women or being non-quality women. Women are just women. I need to do an episode on good girls, on the good girl mythology and the good girl archetype. Just really quickly, I think a lot of guys, when they simp, they're doing so because that girl, that woman, whoever, matches this ideal. It's the nice girl. It's the wholesome girl. I've had guys tell me, "Oh, I need a wholesome woman." It's almost like a stand-in for the virgin bride kind of thing, like Madonna whore complex. It's a stand-in for the virgin bride, and I want the wholesome woman. I want the girl who is, going to bake cookies and be a good mommy. And I want her to, still bang me like Jenna Jameson or whatever porn star that Sterling's doing right now. But she's got to be a good mother and go pick up the kids from soccer practice. I need someone wholesome. Women are women. Okay. Here's how you stop simping. Stop calling women quality women. Call them women. I did an episode with Pat Campbell, and we were talking about, I think the main topic of it was, can you trust women? I'll put that as the last video on this one, so you can go check that out. Can you trust women? And at the end of that video, we came to the conclusion that you can trust women to be women. You can get into a predictive framework with women, and from there, it's really on you. So when you go, well, and yes, are there some women who are better than others? Are there some women who have been raised differently? Are some are more religious? Are some have different programming, right? Have they learned different things? Absolutely, they have. But the same, like, no guy marries a woman and goes, man, she's really low quality. No, nobody does that. You would not want to start a long-term relationship with a woman that you, like, everybody in yourself said, yeah, she's really low quality. I'm not having anything to do with her. You wouldn't get to that point. I mean, logically anyways, maybe if you're insane, So get over the idea of quality women. Quality women, because what happens is when you think of them in those terms, you are very susceptible to one-itis, very susceptible to the one or the soulmate myth. She's the one. Of course they are. Everyone, any woman you want, you would not get into a long-term relationship if you didn't think it was going to work out. If you didn't like the sex and you didn't think there was a future to it. Most guys wouldn't anyways. I mean, serial monogamists. Yeah. Every one girl that they got with, well, I thought she was going to be great. I was in love with her. She was in love with me. Now we're not. So now she's not quality. It's stupid. It's just, it's a mental block, but it's a mental framework. It's a mythology. So you can't think of women in terms of quality. Oh, she's quality. Things change, man. Women are opportunistic. Hypergamy changes. Maybe she's in love with you. Maybe she really is, but you had to get to that point.